Last week's spa shootings here in Metro Atlanta. Gun control is a big topic of conversation on social media this morning. Our Rebecca Schramm is live at the Georgia Capitol. Rebecca, some Democrats have filed bills aimed at reforming gun laws.
Yeah, Rob, they want a waiting period for gun purchases. And you know, something else coming out of that spa shooting here in Atlanta, they've also proposed bills aimed at eliminating the language barrier that can sometimes happen during emergencies. In the aftermath of the shootings, one husband of a victim pleading for help in Korean, unable to communicate with responding police. And at another scene, a husband who speaks primarily Spanish detained as police tried to figure out who the shooter was, learning later that his wife was dead.
No sé.
Both instances where language barriers created breakdowns. It's why State Representative Marvin Lynn of Norcross and State Senator Michelle Au of Johns Creek introduced parallel bills yesterday in the Georgia legislature. The first pair would require police officers to participate in outreach and basic training in certain languages other than English. The second would establish translation services for use by all 911 systems in the state.
This is as potentially life and death as anything you would see in a hospital or in healthcare.
A third pair of bills they introduced in response to the shooting spree would create a mandatory 5-day waiting period for gun purchases in Georgia. Investigators say the suspect in the killings bought the gun he used hours before.
It is inconceivable to us that it should be harder to vote in the state of Georgia than it is to obtain a firearm.
Now here is the problem with their bills. It's so late in the session, the bills probably won't get any traction this year, but those lawmakers say they hope to get some feedback on their legislation so that they can refine it for next year. We're live at the state capitol. Rebecca Schramm, CBS 46 News.
Your time right now is 6:35 and breaking right now, a raging fire. This is happening at an assisted living home in New York. Come take a look at this. The video is dramatic. It's in Spring Valley, New York, about 30 miles outside of the city. We do know that facility houses about 200 beds. Crews have been evacuating patients while at the same time trying to fight the fire. We know the second floor has collapsed. Right now, we're trying to find out if anybody is hurt in this. Turning now to the vaccine, and CBS 46 is your vaccine team. Today, Governor Kemp scheduled to give a vaccine-related update during a news conference outside of Mercedes-Benz Stadium. CBS 46's Trayson Bragg is live at the stadium this morning with those details. Trayson, good morning.
Good morning, Gavir. The announcement of the press conference has everybody wondering what the governor is going to say. Is he going to expand eligibility? Is he going to announce more doses or headed to Georgia? Those are the big questions, but the facts are he will speak today at 2 o'clock right here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. We are still in the throes of this deadly pandemic. However, right now, state officials are making a big push to raise vaccine distribution numbers in our state. So far, officials say 3.2 million doses of the vaccine have been distributed in Georgia. The state hopes to push that number way up by opening Mercedes-Benz Stadium as a mass vaccination site. The Fulton County School District tells me that 3,600 of their teachers and staff are receiving their first dose of the Pfizer vaccine at the stadium this week. Then next week, Mercedes-Benz Stadium will open its doors to all eligible Georgians. Officials say the site will be able to administer 6,000 doses a day. This afternoon, Governor Kemp is expected to hold a press conference at the stadium alongside FEMA and GEMA officials to update us all on Georgia's vaccination effort. Again, that press conference is scheduled for 2 o'clock today, and you can watch it right here on CBS 46 News or on our powerful streaming app. That's CBS 46 app. Reporting live at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, I'm Trayson Bragg, CBS 46 News.
All right, Trayson, thank you. Now at 6:30, we're keeping an eye on today with some of the stories you need to know.
Former President Trump weighing in on Georgia's Secretary of State election. In a statement, he's endorsed current Georgia Congressman Jody Hice. Former Alpharetta Mayor David Bell Isle is also running for the seat. The primary for the Secretary of State's race is not until May of next year.
One person is dead following an accident involving a MARTA bus. This is video from the scene in Clayton County on Highway 85 South near Garden Walk Boulevard last night. It's still not clear how the crash happened.
President Biden's next legislative agenda is in the works. He's looking to propose a $3 trillion plan aimed at boosting the economy and fighting climate change. It would include infrastructure improvements, free community college, universal pre-K education, also a national paid leave program.
Today, Senator Bernie Sanders will unveil 3 bills that aim to change the prescription drug market. The Vermont senator says those bills would drop the price of medication, give Americans access to a worldwide drug market as well.
High honors for 3 Metro Atlanta hospitals. Newsweek included Emory University Hospital, Emory St. Joseph's Hospital, and Emory Johns Creek Hospital on its list of the world's best hospitals for 2021. Emory University Hospital has the highest ranking, coming in at number 30. The hospitals are also ranked in the top 3 in all of Georgia.
Makes you feel pretty good.
We're lucky here.
Right?
We have some
No
of the best
kidding.
medical care and health care in
Yes.
the world in Atlanta.
And some of the best weather, too.
It's true.
I think so. We get all of the seasons.
We do.
The world might be a little big, but I would say in the United States, Georgia has some of the best weather.
Yeah.
Better than the north, where it's always cold for 9 months a year, right? And today is actually going to feel great, although we're not going to see much sunshine. Temperatures will be in the 50s this morning, climbing into the upper 60s, so a light jacket will be all you need. Same thing tomorrow, although we see a few isolated showers today and tomorrow, it will be mostly dry with highs in the 70s. Our eyes are on Thursday and Friday for our next chance for storms. We're going to see this system develop on Thursday. Scattered showers and thunderstorms likely through the day on Thursday, but it's really Thursday night that a cold front moves in and brings us a chance at severe weather. Now, it looks like this is the tornado risk, so the amount of turn in the atmosphere. It looks like Alabama is going to see a high risk for storms with rotation on Thursday night, and we could see that risk as these storms move in early on Friday morning. That's when our chance for severe weather will be the highest. Again, it will be lower overnight because we lose the heating, we lose the energy of the day, but I do think we're going to see a higher risk for strong storms than we did 1 week ago with that last system. And the reason is we're actually going to have heat energy for the atmosphere to work with temperatures in the 60s and 70s. So again, morning storms likely on Friday. What does this mean for your weekend? I will break down that weekend forecast coming up here shortly. First, so we do need to check in on the roads this morning. Any problems, Rodney?
All right, no problems, but Clayton County, check this out. 75 northbound at Forest Parkway, no crash. This is just your normal traffic. So if you are watching or listening in Clayton County, a heads up, you will run into traffic as of this point going northbound on 75 right before 285 this morning. In the meantime, we'll take you to the north side of town. This is 400 southbound at Northridge. For those of you in Roswell, your traffic is looking much better on 400 this morning as you head towards Sandy Springs. A look at the pinpoint traffic map will show that we are crash free. A lot of breakdowns this morning, but no crashes that are slowing you down. So we're doing much better this morning than what we saw yesterday. We'll keep you up to date on the roads and have more weather and traffic coming up in less than 10 minutes.
Okay, Rodney, thanks. It's 6:41 this morning. Asian American women are speaking out about their daily struggles.
Coming up, how the spa shooting massacre is shedding new light on an ongoing problem.
A Dunwoody patrol vehicle damaged in a frightening crash. It could have been a lot worse. The Georgia law that Dunwoody police want you to remember.
It's honestly just an awful thing that's happened.
I was filled with both anger and sadness.
This is a moment that there's no denial that race and gender are factors in this tragedy.
Raw emotion from Asian Americans nearly a week after 8 people are gunned down at 3 metro Atlanta spas.
Right now, those shootings are not being called a hate crime.
But regardless of the official charges, Asian Americans, especially women, are seeking allies during this fearful time. CBS 46's Melissa Stern has the story.
Sorry, it's kind of a sensitive subject.
First-generation American Kimberly Doe was overcome with emotion during our interview following the Atlanta spa shootings.
It kind of hit really close to home.
Doe, a local college student, is Vietnamese. She is no stranger to racism.
I've always gotten kind of, throughout my life, certain gestures, eye pulling, or I've gotten the ching chong or ling ling type of thing.
But on top of that, Asian and Asian American women are all too familiar with misogyny and stereotypes, especially since the pandemic started.
When I'm wearing a mask, I had someone ask, hey, are you gonna give me the virus?
There's this huge fetishization, this huge stereotype put upon Asian women specifically about the subordination or how they're subservient. It's truly disgusting. And, we're humans. I'm an Asian woman. I'm a human. I'm a person. I'm not a prize to be won.
Many Asian American women work in service industries like beauty salons. Thanks to unemployment and xenophobia, Asian American businesses have been hit especially hard during the pandemic.
Ever since the pandemic, I knew that hate crimes would eventually escalate. And that was what I always feared, because not only did my mom own a nail salon, my family also worked for her. And the fact that the stereotype can lead to something physical is terrifying.
Melissa Stern, CBS 46 News.
We don't want this happening to our fellow officers, our emergency vehicles, as they're out there on 285 and they're trying to keep the community safe.
A Dunwoody police officer showing just how dangerous it can be if you don't follow the law. Dunwoody police say a driver slammed into an officer when he was pulled over responding to a crash on 285 with his lights flashing. Fortunately, the officer is okay. Remember, Georgia's move over law requires everyone to move to the next lane or slow down for an emergency vehicle that does include tow trucks and hero trucks. It's really amazing how even when there's an emergency car, police, fire truck, whatever, in a route on a road, that people just continue driving right alongside them.
Yeah, so just a good reminder. Yep. Good reminder. All right, let's get over to Ella for a look at our weather. Are you talking pollen? Because
yeah, but the levels aren't actually that high.
I haven't sneezed today. I was going to say yesterday I was sneezing and you said the levels weren't high either.
This time last year, we were seeing pollen counts in the 2,000 to 3,000 range. So it is much less this year, but it's likely to increase as we head towards April. Our peak pollen is usually in the middle of April. Increasing clouds this morning. You can see showers off to our west. These are actually going to lift north through the day today. So although we'll see a few isolated showers, the risk for heavy rain is very low. The risk for lingering showers is very low. It's mostly just West Georgia that's going to see a little bit of rain later on this afternoon and even. Areas east of the city likely to remain dry through the entire day. And we'll see high temperatures around 70 this afternoon. So although we won't see lots of sun, it's actually going to be a really nice day. Same thing tomorrow, but it's later in the week, Thursday into the weekend, that we're likely to see stronger storms. Really after midnight on Thursday. You can see the Storm Prediction Center already has a bullseye on areas to our west. This is Thursday morning through Friday morning. So we're included in this, but it's really going to be after midnight that we see a cold front arrive. So again, thunderstorms, probably a few tornadoes likely in Alabama through Thursday evening. That same system arrives after midnight on Thursday. So early Friday morning, that's when we have the highest chance for stronger storms. We'll actually clear out Friday night, but then the system actually lifts back in, bringing us more rounds of showers and thunderstorms on Saturday, and then another cold front passes on Sunday. I know that's a lot of information to digest. So again, here's my best guess for you. Just showers through the day on Thursday, nothing severe, maybe a few rumbles of thunder. It's Friday morning when we have the highest chance to see strong storms. You can make outdoor plans for Friday evening, though. It's going to be really nice, very warm and dry, and then you'll want to make indoor plans for this weekend. Still too early to see if we're going to have stronger storms this weekend, but we are going to see rounds of scattered thunderstorms lasting through the end of the weekend. So again, this unsettled weather pattern begins today, but our rain chances really increase Thursday, and our storm chances will be Friday, lingering through the weekend. Temperatures will be very warm in this time frame, though, so when it's not raining, you'll definitely be able to get outside with highs about 10 degrees above average. Next week looks very dry, by the way, so this pattern will not last. Rodney.
I'm going to get you an update here in Austell, Cobb County. If you look at your screen here, we have a crash on Austell Road at Hospital Drive. So this is right in front of Wellstar Cobb Hospital in Austell. A heads up to you. All lanes aren't blocked here, but this is something that you will pass by. It will slow you down. So heads up again. That's Austell Road at Hospital Drive, right in front of Wellstar Cobb Hospital. We'll keep you up to date on that. In the meantime, Izmir is in the Coolway Road Tracker. He's in Cobb County as well. 285 westbound. He's approaching 75. As you can see, your traffic is super smooth as you leave Sandy Springs going west. More weather and traffic coming up in less than 10 minutes.
A major vaccine announcement from Governor Kemp just hours away. Ahead, the new development that could bring us normalcy soon. But first, here's Genevieve Gorder with America's Steals and Deals.
I do have something really great for your life. Do you guys have anxiety, too much stress? Are you doing too much for everyone else? Hey, that's all of us, right? This is called the Blankwell weighted blanket. How weighted blankets work. You can see this grid of all these little tiny perforations, and this is where all these tiny little beads live and weight down the blanket. So it's equal distribution every time you lay down. If you've had a particularly stressful day, which is just called life these days, you put this on and it will take you into a deeper, just moment of relaxation like this. It is called deep touch stimulation. And we need this feeling since we come out into this world as tiny babies. We need a hug, or we need to be held. And what that does psychologically is we just let go, we relax. If you have trouble sleeping, you're a tosser and a turner, this is a great way to start your night. I promise you, you will knock out so much faster. If you can't get into meditation, this will help get you there quicker. If you just want to watch TV and just chill, this is a great piece to have in the living room. Give it as a gift to anyone whose wellness you care about. They need a little extra de-stressing time. This is a great gift. And today you can afford to do it. We're offering 41% off. We have 6 different colors. It all comes in one big size at asadeals.com.
Welcome back. It's now about 5 minutes till 7, and we want to get you caught up on some of the stories making headlines.
We begin with the deadly supermarket shooting in Boulder, Colorado. 10 people were killed when a gunman opened fire inside the grocery yesterday afternoon. Officer Eric Talley is among the dead. He leaves behind 7 children. Officers say the lone suspect was injured when he was taken into custody. His leg was bloodied and he was limping. Rebecca?
Here in Georgia, Democrats are proposing changes to Georgia's gun laws in response to those shootings last week at 3 metro Atlanta spas. Bills by State Representative Marvin Lynn of Norcross and State Senator Michelle Au of Johns Creek would require a 5-day waiting period for gun purchases. They're also proposing bills aimed at eliminating language barriers during emergencies. It's late in the session, though, so those bills likely won't get any traction this year.
And I'm Trayson Bragg. Governor Brian Kemp is scheduled to hold a press conference here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium at 2 this afternoon. Now, many are wondering if the governor is going to announce expanded vaccine eligibility. Well, we'll have to wait to see if that is in fact the case. But we do know the governor will discuss the stadium becoming a mass vaccination site with the capability of administering 6,000 doses a day.
All right, a heads up for you in Austell this morning. We still have a crash here. This is at the intersection of Austell.
Last week's spa shootings here in Metro Atlanta. Gun control is a big topic of conversation on social media this morning. Our Rebecca Schramm is live at the Georgia Capitol. Rebecca, some Democrats have filed bills aimed at reforming gun laws.
Yeah, Rob, they want a waiting period for gun purchases. And you know, something else coming out of that spa shooting here in Atlanta, they've also proposed bills aimed at eliminating the language barrier that can sometimes happen during emergencies. In the aftermath of the shootings, one husband of a victim pleading for help in Korean, unable to communicate with responding police. And at another scene, a husband who speaks primarily Spanish detained as police tried to figure out who the shooter was, learning later that his wife was dead.
No sé.
Both instances where language barriers created breakdowns. It's why State Representative Marvin Lynn of Norcross and State Senator Michelle Au of Johns Creek introduced parallel bills yesterday in the Georgia legislature. The first pair would require police officers to participate in outreach and basic training in certain languages other than English. The second would establish translation services for use by all 911 systems in the state.
This is as potentially life and death as anything you would see in a hospital or in healthcare.
A third pair of bills they introduced in response to the shooting spree would create a mandatory 5-day waiting period for gun purchases in Georgia. Investigators say the suspect in the killings bought the gun he used hours before.
It is inconceivable to us that it should be harder to vote in the state of Georgia than it is to obtain a firearm.
Now, here is the problem with their bills. It's so late in the session, the bills probably won't get any traction this year, but those lawmakers say they hope to get some feedback on their legislation so that they can refine it for next year. We're live at the state capitol. Rebecca Schramm, CBS 46 News.